very interesting to see what happened.
Well, what the EU ruling last night in Brussels did was, in effect, to impose a structure on Theresa May and also on the UK Parliament. It's said to them, you need to sort this out. We'll give you a short extension to the Article 50 process, but if you can't get it, and certainly Theresa May's deal through by April the 12th, then that's the end. Or if at that point the deal hasn't gone through, some alternative proposition can be put forward. They might consider a further extension to the end of May. But in the end, it now requires Westminster, Theresa May, to decide something. So Parliament is now being effectively told by the EU how to do things. At the moment, it doesn't look very likely her deal will go through next week. And of course, that begs the question of A, whether she will put it forward for another vote next week if she thinks she won't win. And secondly, there is the question of whether the Speaker would allow the same, if it looks like the same proposals to be put forward to a vote again. And of course, on top of that, there's some discussion in the Parliament here that the backbench MPs will try to come forward with proposals that take control of the process to impose on the government a softer form of Brexit. So all of that's still up in the air, but the difference now is that the EU's allowed a slight extension of this process, but it's only a slight extension, not nearly as much as Theresa May wanted. The EU showed yesterday that it decides what happens next, and of course it can change what it decided yesterday to give the UK further opportunities to come up with a different version of Brexit if Theresa May's deal won't go through. So it all now hangs on whether MPs can, as they say, seize control, Parliament can somehow seize control, or whether Mrs May can get her deal through. Or if none of that happens, no deal is still a possibility. And I suspect Theresa May, despite everything, might go for no deal if her deal doesn't get through, but then Parliament might stop that. Well, Theresa May is a remarkably resilient person. She's managed to cling on in office through thick and thin. There was a motion of confidence against her at the end of last year within her own party, which she won. However, it is now increasingly the case that for all sorts of reasons, not least of which an ill-judged statement she made on Wednesday, effectively attacking Parliament, who she's trying to get to vote for her. I think a lot more Conservative MPs now think her days are numbered, but I don't think she'll just go, you know, in the sense of how she goes is then itself a complicated issue.